everyone, and I am here with my middle grade March TBR. I have been contemplating my choices for quite a while. I have a very big 2-page spread of all the books that I'm interested in, and so it took me a while just to decide about which books I wanted to let you know that I was interested in. My enthusiasm for middle grade March just grows with each year. And this year, I even treated myself to a middle grade March sweatshirt. If for some reason you did not know about middle grade March, it is a readathon that takes place over the whole month of March, and it's celebrating middle grade literature, which are kind of the first substantial chapter books that you would read as a child or as an adult that still appreciates all of the merits that are there in beautiful children's literature. And in this TBR, I'm also going to talk about 2 books I want to read for the Irish Readathon. And so I will talk about those first. And I'm kind of doing Irish middle grade. Last year, I read my first book in honor of the Irish Readathon, and it was really lovely to take part in it for the first time. So I've increased it to 2 books this year, and I'm really looking forward to telling you about these. So last year, I will just hold this up, I read and loved The Island of Horses by Dillon, and in looking into this author more, she wrote a lot of adventure stories for children. So I was delighted to learn about the book The Lost Island, and in this book, the main character, does it say his name on the back here? Michael. It doesn't say his last name, but Michael Farrell, there it is. People in his town have talked about this lost island of Inishmanan for generations. And one day, Michael's father goes searching for this island and he goes missing. And then a stranger shows up to their town and says that he should go and search for his father, that he is on this lost island. So Michael, along with a friend, goes and tries to find this lost island. And I was delighted to see that this edition does have illustrations throughout, which is always a win for me. So I'm very excited. I loved all of the world building that was in Island of Horses, and I could just go for another wonderfully told adventure story. And then the next Irish book I'm going to be reading, and of course I will link the hosts down below so you can find information and recommendations, all of that. And this is going to be, also, it will count as a Victorian book, which is so exciting to me. And that is The Fairy Tales of Ireland by W.B. Yeats. And this is illustrated by P.J. Lynch, who is an Irish author and illustrator. And I just love the look of this book. This is going to be a read aloud with my boys, which I think will be so much fun. And this also has illustrations throughout it. And I love reading fairy tales to my boys, and they always enjoy hearing fairy tales. And I just think in the month of March to have some Irish fairy tales to read will be just delightful. So yes, I'm really looking forward to reading the 2 of these. All right, now for middle grade March, they do have some optional prompts, and I have books that I am excited for all of the prompts, and so I was able to find something that fit each prompt. So the first prompt is a 1-word title, and I have 2 books that I'm interested in for this. The first is Physik by Angie Sage. I own this book, but Peter has been at his grandparents this weekend, and he took it with him. So I will be the final one in the household to read the 3rd in the Septimus Heap series. And it has been, so far, Peter and my husband David have enjoyed it the most out of the series. So it's a historical fantasy series set in medieval England. I'm not sure precisely what year it's supposed to be, but it's so much fun. And I just can't wait to see what is going to happen in the next part of the journey with all of these characters. There was a baby dragon in the last one, so I'm looking forward to seeing this pet dragon growing up and how complicated that will make things. Then the next one that I'm interested in is Rump, and this is a retelling of the Rumpelstiltskin fairy tale, and I hear wonderful things about this from Krista at Books and Jams. And I know a few years ago, Peter listened to the audiobook and he really liked it. So just very interested in that one and excited to give it a try. The next one is, the next prompt is debut, so a debut novel, and this one is a bit of a cheeky way to include it, but The Lost Island by Eilis Dillon was her first book written in English. So it was her English debut, so I'm counting that for the debut prompt, and I'm looking forward to that. The next prompt is immigration or refugee, something involving some form of immigration or a refugee in the plot line. I have two that I would like to read for this. The first is Hope in the Valley by Mitali Perkins, and I'm pretty sure that Hope, who's the main character, has Syrian refugee ancestors. I think that's what it is. Like maybe her grandparents came from Syria, or maybe her parents. But so she's this third culture kind of kid, where feels somewhat American, somewhat Syrian, and how that comes into play in her life. There's also many nods to Emily of Deep Valley by the beloved Maud Hart Lovelace, because Mitali Perkins is a big fan of Maud Hart Lovelace. So I'm very excited to be buddy reading this with my lovely friend Elizabeth, and we will be chatting about it, and I think very much enjoying it. And the next one for, excuse me, immigration slash refugee is Mexikid, and this is a graphic novel. And a few years ago, I read El Defo, which was a graphic novel memoir about an experience of growing up deaf, and it was so interesting to have a memoir in that format. And I'm pretty sure that Mexikid is going to be a sort of memoir in a graphic novel format, and just about what it's like to be a Mexican immigrant in the United States. And it sounds really interesting. It's gotten lots of praise, and I am looking forward to reading it. The next prompt is an animal on the cover, and this one will be another buddy read. And the first one that I want to read for this is The Highly Trained Dogs of Professor Petit by Carol Ryrie Brink, and I'm going to be buddy reading this with Jen from Jen's Reading Life. Not only is Jen on Bookstagram as Jen's Reading Life, but she is now a booktuber, and so I will link her Instagram and channel down below because she has just the loveliest channel. And I really don't know much about this other than that Carol Ryrie Brink wrote it, and it has animals on the cover, and it's supposed to be endearing. I'm pretty sure there are circus animals, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this. I really, really love Carol Ryrie Brink's writing. The other one for animals on the cover was recommended by one of you. You left a comment on I think one of my 100 life-softening books videos when I talked about The Armorer's House by Rosemary Sutcliffe and how much I loved this. And you said, well, if you like that and Adam of the Road, which, or maybe it was for Adam of the Road. The point being, you recommended to me Brother Dusty Feet by Rosemary Sutcliffe, which, like Adam of the Road and The Door in the Wall, is a medieval road trip novel, which I loved the concept of that. Or it was more an Elizabethan road trip novel. So it's set during the reign of Elizabeth I, and there is a boy who runs away from home, and he ends up traveling with this traveling theater troupe, which just sounds like so much fun. So I never bought a book so quickly. I literally saw the comment, went on to Abe Books and saw that I could get a copy for $7 and something, and ordered it immediately. I didn't even try to have self-control with that one. I heard it's by Rosemary Sutcliffe. It's a road trip, traveling kind of book, and that's all that I needed to know. So that will be coming in the mail very soon, and I am really looking forward to that one. Okay, then the last prompt is a book that you feel you missed out on, and I have two that I have picked for this as well. The first is Stuart Little, which is wild that I haven't read it, and I think it will be really fun to include an E.B. White this middle grade March, because 2 middle grade Marches ago, I read The Trumpet of the Swan and loved it. Last middle grade March, I read Charlotte's Web, and love that even more. And I love the storyline of Stuart Little. I grew up watching the movie, and so I'm really very much looking forward to reading Stuart Little. And I think I'll read the physical copy of this because it has lovely Garth Williams illustrations. And he also did the Little House series illustrations and Cricket on Times Square. And there's one other, maybe Rabbit Hill. I can't remember, but I just love his illustrations. So the other one is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. Now, this book I thought it was going to be too emotionally heavy for me, but after just absolutely falling in love with R.J. Palacio's writing in the book Pony, I decided, you know what, I really want to try it, and I will just have the tissues ready, and I only hear wonderful things about it. I think it is a little boy with a facial deformity and how his life is affected by this, and how I think you see the resilience that he has throughout this. Augie is his name, and I'm hoping that since it is middle grade, it will be heartwarming enough, or it will be, you know, bittersweet and not too heavy. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, those are the ones for all the prompts, and then I just wanted to tell you about a few more that are tippity top priority. The next two are kind of ones that could also be books you feel you missed out on. And they're ones that for pretty much every middle grade March I've participated in, I've meant to read these, and it has not happened. The first is Song for a Whale, and I am going to be doing this on audio because I'm pretty sure it won the Odyssey Award, and I'm pretty sure it involves a deaf character with a whale that can't talk to other whales because of something that happened to it. Something like that, and it's just supposed to be really beautiful and moving. So that is top priority on the list. The other one that I heard a lot of people praise, but then when Jess from Dickens and Docs over on Bookstagram recommended it, I thought, that's it. That's all I need to know if Jess recommends it. And that is The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise. I think this is a traveling book. It does look very summery, but I want to get to it this year, and I'm worried if I don't, that it just won't happen. Coyote and her dad, Rodeo. They live in an old school bus, and they just travel across the nation. And I don't really know much else than that. And I just need to know that Jess loved it, and I'm going to read it then. Okay. Then one that Peter keeps asking me when I'm going to read it, and that is The Teacher's Funeral by Richard Peck. There's this really, really terrible teacher who's really mean to all the students, and they want her to go. And I think it's their plot to get her to leave. I know that I really enjoyed Richard Peck's writing in A Year Down Yonder. I think that's what it's called. So this is one that I definitely want to get to. Then this is one that I have borrowed from our church library for too long. So it needs to be read, and this is The Good Master. And there is our main character who is really excited because his cousin from Budapest is coming to spend the summer on the main character's ranch on the Hungarian plains. And just the setting of that sounded so different from anything that I have read. I will be honest, I haven't loved Kate Sarady's writing in other books. It's a little bit sugary sweet. So I'm hoping this might be one that I enjoy. We'll see. So giving Kate Sarady another try. Then one that I bought 3 in this series last year, and then I forgot about it. I don't know what happened, but Peter read the first one and really enjoyed it, and that is Henry Reed Inc. This, to me, I just got such Henry Huggins vibes, and Mitzi from Mitzi Reads and Writes recommends this and really loved it. And I really want to get to this. So it's his journal, and I think he is kind of a precocious child, and it just seems 1950s children's literature I just love so much. So yes, I will let you know what I think of this. And then I have the next 2 in the series, which could be really fun. And then the last one that is going to be another read aloud to the boys, and that is Roxy and the Hooligans. And this is a book about a little girl who runs away to an island, and there are many criminals that live on the island, and it's, I think, just supposed to be kind of larger than life. It seems a little bit like Pippi Longstocking, just something that could be really fun. So I will let you know what I think of Roxy and the Hooligans, and there is a sequel. So if the boys really like it, I might just go ahead and read aloud the sequel to them in the month of March. But I want to test out the first one, which is coming on hold from the library. So yes, I have many holds to pick up from the library. I always do in the month of March. Those are all the books that I am particularly excited to read during March. I might strive for a book a day in March. You know, there's many conversations and dialogue that goes on BookTube about, you know, it should be quality, not quantity. Do I agree with that? 100%. I also know that I really like to consume much middle grade in the month of March, and it shouldn't bother anyone if other people want to read more books than they might want to read. So if I want to do that, I'm okay with it. And there's just so many middle grade books that I'm hoping to be reading, and it's just so very much what I'm in the mood for. And spring is coming, and it's just, I just love this readathon. So thank you as always for watching. Please comment down below if you are taking part in middle grade March and what you are hoping to be reading. And I will be back with another video soon. Bye.